Well, good afternoon, ladies. It has been a pleasure. I just want to say it's been a pleasure and an honor just spending the last several days with you all. I've learned so much from everyone who has presented and just building new relationships. I love building relationships with strong, focused, visionary women, and I see that in each one of you. So thank you for the privilege of spending this weekend with you. The topic that I'm going to talk about, you see the title here, Feminine, Fabulous, Financially Free, Charge What You're Worth Without Apology. And what I'm going to share is 4 strategies so you can stop undervaluing, undercharging, and over-delivering so you can make more money in less time. Anybody need to do that? Yeah. And just to tell you a little bit about myself, my company, Catalyst Enterprises, I started in 2007 after a very lucrative corporate position. And what made me really passionate about this topic was, I was paid very well. My last position with this corporate, this company, was I was a global strategic buyer. So I was responsible for buying analytical services worldwide. So I traveled all over the world, and they paid me well to do it. And so what I wanted to do was take that talent and help other organizations make the money that I was able to make for this large company, this multi-billion-dollar company. So I started doing that, and I left my corporate job in 2007. But then I realized that even though I negotiated these multi-million-dollar contracts, when it came to working for my own company, I got stuck as far as willing to ask for what I believed that my value brought to the table. And so I found that I wasn't the only one. And there were other women that also got stuck. And this is what I found, that many women struggle with what to charge because they're afraid to ask for the price that they believe they deserve, and so they set their fees very low. When I work with men in my practice, they don't have this issue. They could put their price out, and either you take it or you leave it. But women would charge too little for their price, or we're uncomfortable talking about money. We're very uncomfortable talking about money, or we put too much in our packages, too much services. Those that may be coaching put too many coaching sessions in, trying to prove that what we offer is valuable. And so it's important for us to understand that how this can be detrimental to our business. It's detrimental because it means that you have a difficult time making enough money to sustain your business. Loving what you do, passionate about what you do, but not making the money. Not making the money. And so what that does, it causes us to begin to ask, should I really be doing this? Did I make a mistake leaving my job? I'm good at what I do, but how come people aren't paying me? The other thing that happens, we see in the next one, oftentimes we end up working too many hours and we get burnt out. Anybody ever got burnt out working for yourself? Just tired. The whole reason why you left your job was for freedom. And now you feel that you're in bondage because you're overworking, trying to make the money. And then what else happens is it undermines our credibility. Someone in their previous presentation this morning showed a picture of Mercedes. When you think of Mercedes, now when you think of any car, you could buy a $10,000 car and you could buy a $50,000 or $80,000 car. They do the same thing. They get you from point A to point B, right? But it determines, it's up to you to figure out how you want to arrive in there and from point A to point B. Do you want to arrive in style? Do you want to arrive in comfort? What's important to you, why you would choose a $10,000 car versus a $50,000 or $80,000 car? And then I remember I had a client of mine who was a counselor, charged very low fees. And she had a client, when she really got this, she had a client that said, when I make more money, I'm going to really get me a good counselor. Because she was being judged by her fees. Even though she was providing a good service, the person who was receiving her service did not see it as valuable or as impactful because of her low fees. So it makes a big difference how we set our fees. And so what I want to share with you today in this time that we have, how to stay focused on the big picture, how to develop the right mindset to attract clients who will pay you what you're worth, how to organize your priorities and manage your resources, and how to get clear on the value or of your service and the products that you bring to the table. And so the first strategy that I want to share with you is your big why. Someone else mentioned this. I think it was Sandra, you mentioned this. And under big why, I have this question. What is it that you love being, doing, and having? What is your motivation? And she talked about that. When you're in business for yourself and things don't always go right, you need to know what is your motivation. When I started my business, I had made a list. Well, this actually did this before I started my business. I have a list of 100 things that I want to do, be, accomplish before I die. And so I have this list, and it changes as far as priorities as I get older, what I want to do. And so when I think of my big why for when I started my business and now where my big why is, there's two of them. The first one is my parents are getting older. They're in good health right now, but if something should happen, I wanted to be in a financial place that I could take care of them, have a home that they can move in and feel comfortable. And so in the second big why of mine, I love to give. I love being able to support causes that are important to me. I love being able to financially support, not just my time, but be able to write a check. I love being able to do that, not so people can see how big the check I wrote, but because there's causes that are so important to me, and I know it takes money for them to accomplish a mission. I wanted to be able to do that. So those are my big why. I enjoy traveling. I just came back about a month ago from India. Spent several weeks in India, being able to give them my time. Those are my big whys. I want to be able to do those kind of things. So that's what helps me keep my focus as I'm growing my business. So what happens when you don't know your why? You lose focus. You become frustrated. You get easily discouraged because in business you're going to hear no a lot. But when you stay focused on your big why, it keeps you from getting discouraged. And so what is the impact of not knowing what that big why is? It stifles the growth of your business. You begin to plateau. And you become reactive rather than proactive in your decision making. You'll see something come up, and you'll respond to that rather than keep it in line with what your big why is or what your vision is. The third thing, what can happen when you know your why? It keeps you focused on the big picture. Even though you may experience a setback, the big why will keep you focused. I may be set back now, but I'm still moving toward my vision, toward my goal. And it helps take the emotion out of temporary setbacks. I remember when I first started hearing no as I was trying to close deal, it made me want to just go in my room and get under the sheets and not come out because I took it personally. And so I had to realize that every no I hear is getting me closer to my yes for everyone that I hear. So strategy number 2, get clear on your ideal client. Who needs, values, and will pay for your solution? Everybody is not your client. I hear people say, who do you serve in your business? And they'll say, everybody. No, you can't serve everybody because everybody is not going to need or value or pay for your solution. You need that trifecta. There will be people who you'll tell what you do, and they say, oh, I really need that. But it's really optional to them. They don't really value it to the point that'll cause them to pay for it. And I find that in my business and when I work with people in business, in order to make a change, 2 things cause them to change: inspiration or desperation. Either they're inspired to do something to be better, or they've gotten to a point where they're so desperate for a solution that they'll go and do something. And so you want to make sure you're clear on who is it that you're called to serve. It's not everybody. Everybody's not going to appreciate what you do. And so what happens when you don't know your ideal client? Like I said, you will try to serve everybody and anybody, and your message changes to meet the needs of everybody. One minute someone asks you what you do, you say this, but if the audience change, you'll say it's something else. So your message is not consistent. You're trying to adjust it to meet the needs of everybody come across your path. And so what is the impact of not knowing? Your marketing message is unclear and it's ineffective. And also what happens, your clients, they don't know what you do. They're confused. You ever had someone, you ask them what they do, and they tell you and you just kind of smile and you walk away, you really still don't know what they do. You don't have a clue. And what happens as a result of that, you get no or minimal clients because they are confused. They don't understand what is the service, the product, the solution that you bring to the table. But when you know who your ideal client is, your marketing message becomes laser focused. And that's what you need to be able to do. The message that you put out to your ideal client, your niche or your market needs to be laser focused. And what happens is when that message is out there, your ideal client or that prospective client can find themselves in your marketing message. They can look at your message and say, that's me. That's what I need. That's what's important to me. And they'll come knocking to you. Before I got clear on this in my business, I would call people, and I'm trying to explain what I did, and people were very nice, but they still said no. But when I got very focused on the group that I wanted to serve and the message that would meet their needs and the message that they could identify with, my phone started ringing, rather than me always having to pick up the phone. So here's an example of how you know your ideal client. I gave an example here, women who want a promotion. And so you can say, you know, I work with women who want a promotion, but it's more than that. You need to be clear on what is the problem that they're experiencing. The problem that they're experiencing is how to be taken seriously, how to be seen as capable, and how to take on a new level of responsibility and leadership. That's the problem. And so what is the emotion? Because people buy out of emotion. There's something that causes them to want to buy. The emotion that they're feeling is they're feeling stuck, they're feeling frustrated, overlooked, and undervalued. That's why they're looking for this promotion. And what do they want in return, or what is it that they really want? It's not just having a promotion to have a new title or to have a new business card. What they really want is to be noticed and seen as credible, increased responsibility, more people to manage, looking for part of a new role that they want. They may know where they are, may be sabotaging themselves in meetings or projects. That's what they want. They want this solution. It comes through this promotion. In your marketing message, you don't say, we're serving people who want promotion. We're serving women who want to be seen as credible in the marketplace. And when you start listing those things that they want, and the feelings that they have because they're not getting what they want, that makes a difference. They're able to connect with you. The next strategy, implement effective systems and priorities. Do you have the right foundation to support your success? I find oftentimes people want a business, but they don't take the time to build the business, put the systems in place. And so what happens when you don't have the right systems and priorities in your business? You experience the shiny object syndrome. If you're on a lot of people's mailing lists and people will start saying, you want to build your business, you want to grow your list, you know, you need to do this first and you need to do this first. First, you need to get a social media process going. No, you need to network. No, you need to build a right website. No, you need to do this. So you're going on and trying to do all these things, taking away from the priorities where you are in your business and what you really need to work on. So what I had to do, I was on so many people's mailing lists, I had to start just unsubscribing. Because what I found myself was chasing what people were saying was the first priority, the biggest thing I need to implement in my business, and develop the systems so that I would, as my business grew. The other thing that happens when you don't have systems, you lack consistency in achieving positive results. In any business, there's going to be ebbs and flows. There's going to be times where your revenue goes up and down. But what happens as you grow your business, you may be this way where the downs, you know, your monthly revenue may be low some months, high some months, and there's no consistency. As you put those things in place, the systems, the lows become less time and not as big as a dip. And that's what we want in our business. What is the impact of not having the systems and priorities in your business? You experience little or no business growth. Every year your business should be growing and you're setting goals for your business to grow, and you get overworked and overwhelmed. And it really impacts your mindset, it impacts your confidence. But what happens when you implement the right systems, you get a clear structure for your workday. You get up knowing what you need to do in order to accomplish your goals, and you know where you need to focus your time. It's so easy if you're a solopreneur, you don't have a team working around you, or as an entrepreneur, that you can get distracted. But when you have systems in place, you know exactly what you need to do in order to accomplish the goals that you want to meet for that day. And so what I see here is what I have on here is actually an assessment. And I'll tell you at the end how you can get access to this assessment that I have. And it's called Steps to Success. And it looks at 3 different levels of business, whether you're just getting started, whether you're leaping forward and building your momentum, or whether you're finding freedom, you're successful in your business. And so I look at these 5 areas, regardless of where you are in your business, what stage, your focus, your time, support, your clients, and your income. But regardless of what stage you're in your business, there's always going to be some pitfalls or some traps. At the getting started stage, you don't have the system, strategies, and support for producing consistent results. And so sometimes people are trying to do things that they, at the getting started or leaping forward phase, when they really need to be focused on the getting started phase. You may be excited about the next new hot thing when your foundation isn't quite in place. At the leaping forward phase, you get stuck in the do-it-all-alone mindset that keeps you working harder and longer. At this stage, you need to start thinking about how you're going to form your team. What do you need? What are the resources that you need to surround yourself around? And then finding freedom, not getting consumed with your business. Things are going well, but you can't get consumed with your business where your whole life is just about your business. And so those traps happen at each level. And like I said, I'll share with you later how you can get that assessment and see where you are and what you need to do. The 4th strategy, and the last one, is this: set your price for value and not features. Do you know the value of the results that you deliver? And when you don't know, you're always discounting your services. You're constantly in a defensive state. You lack the confidence when you state your price. The other thing, if you don't know your value, the impact of not pricing for value, you have to work harder to make the same money. I had a client that came to me, and she was getting ready to offer a product to or service to a client. And when she told me the price, she said, what do you recommend? She was getting ready to go in a meeting about an hour before she talked to me. I said, double it. She said, what? I said, double it. Now let me tell you what you say when you offer this price. I gave her the words to say. She doubled the price. They didn't blink. They paid it. No problem. And I said, how did you feel? She said, I should have raised the price even higher. And so then also what can happen when you know your value, you feel empowered. You can increase your price and generate more income. And so here's some examples of knowing the difference between your value or your features versus your benefits. Features is what you do. Your benefit or value, what happens when you do the feature. Oftentimes people talk about, I use the example coaching because I also coach. I'm a business mentor. When they talk about what they offer, they say, well, you get X number of coaching sessions and X number of emails. That's not what's important to people. What's important is what solution do they get when you coach with them? What's the outcome they get when you coach? So I gave a couple examples here. You buy a pair of boots for the rain. You're not buying boots because they're waterproof. You're buying boots because you want your feet to stay warm. That's why you buy the boots. In a car, if it has better gas mileage, you're not buying it just because of the gas mileage. You're buying it to save money. So understand, as you look at the benefits, what you need to speak to your clients about is from the benefits perspective, not the features. When you do that, you will close more deals. I guarantee you. It changed my business. And so just to summarize, how do you charge what you're worth without apology? Create your big why, and it keeps you pulls you forward. Be clear on who your ideal client and their needs so that they will see you as the only solution to their problem. Number 3, implement systems and priorities to lay the foundation for sustained success. And number 4, know your value so you can state your price with confidence. And so like I said, here in your handouts, there should be a page where if you're interested in getting this quiz, the Step to Success quiz, all you have to do is fill that out. You get it to me before we leave today. I'll make sure I email that to you. You can also, if you're interested, I can talk with you, give a 30-minute complimentary session to go over your results and what you need to do to move forward. And then also, I just gave you 4 strategies. But in this tips and tools to charge what you're worth without apology, I actually list 10. If you want the remaining 10, I could give them to you as well. Thank you.